taxman's taken all my dough, left me in my stately home, lazing on a sunny afternoon. Well, this is a song I can't sing. It gets a little too high, way too high. But it does have some cool things happening in the bass, and we'll work on picking through these chords, running through some little bluesier sections, throws in some seventh chords, and some quick little bass lines coming up, like here on this A chord. This is, of course, Sunny Afternoon, 1966. Ray Davies, Dave Davies, and their buddies, the Kinks. A big departure from their songs from a couple of years earlier. Earlier they had stuff like You Really Got Me, All Day and All the Night. Pretty thrashy songs. And this is cool, jazzy, clever lyrics, and a great chord progression, and that's how a lot of Ray Davies tunes have very, very innovative chord progressions. So what we're going to be doing in this lesson, though, is really just working on the chords. Most of them are fairly normal, but we're trying to incorporate a lot of the bass line in there as well. So we're going to be doing this with your fingers, using your thumb, hitting generally doubled two repetitions of the same note. It's mostly this descending line over chords in the key of D minor. So most of the chords are pretty easy to play, but we'll talk about them, and then we'll take a look at what's going on with the right hand too. This originally came out in 1966 on their album Face to Face, but it is now easier to find on the singles collection, which has a lot of their early stuff up to Lola. I think Dedicated Man of Fashion is probably on there. Anyway, a lot of pretty cool tunes on there. So I kind of recommend that you check that out, unless you are up to adding all 75 or 76 Kinks albums to your collection. But without rambling off too much about that, let's start talking about some of the things that happen in Sunny Afternoon. Most of the chords are pretty straightforward in here, but we're going to, with the addition of bass notes, we're going to have to do some unusual things. We're going to start with the D minor chord, and because of the next thing that happens, we want to play our D minor, although I like this D minor for many reasons, with your first, second, and fourth fingers. First finger on F, second finger on the A, and your fourth finger on the D. And then with your right hand, we're just going to be grabbing these. So right now I'll just be pinching them with a bass note and the top three strings so you can hear what they sound like. So in the beginning we've got D minor, then we add C in the bass. Well, that's why we wanted our third finger to be clear. So our third finger comes in and adds the C in the bass. The right hand is going to be doing a combination of hitting bass notes with your thumb, and it's going to be playing notes on the fourth, fifth, or sixth strings, depending on what's happening. And then these three fingers are just going to be plucking the top three strings, or sometimes one or two of them. So in the introduction, this is where we want to hear just these pinches, and then I'll add C in the bass. Well, take out the chart that has chords at the top, words at the bottom, and let's just talk about some of the stuff you see there. Pretty much every division of a line represents two beats. So across the first line there, we see D minor, then a C in parentheses, a B in parentheses, and a B flat in parentheses. Every one of those things represents two beats. 1, 2. Half a measure. So the parentheses mean just a bass note for whatever chord we're already on. So that introduction, as we talked about in the right and left hand close-ups, is going to be D minor, and for now let's just pinch them twice, so 2 beats. And we'll just run through that. Pinching the top 3 strings with your 3 fingers and the bass note with your thumb. So your thumb's hitting a D, which is the 4th string. Then adding C in the bass with your 3rd finger. Moving those fingers around to get the B in the bass. Putting a bar at the 1st fret for the B flat in the bass, being really careful to not hit the 4th string there. Slow down. play along version. I'm just going to run through. I've got the metronome set at 92. This is going to seem really slow, maybe. But some of these changes are hard to make at any speed and consistently. And just going to run straight through the whole chart one time. The intro, the verse, and the chorus. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The D minor with the strumming. Picking gear. Strumming.